The silent translator. You know that moment. When you want to speak, but your brain suddenly freezes. You know exactly what you want to say, but it comes first in your own language. So you wait, translate, fix the grammar, search for the right word, and then the silence wins. You smile, you nod, you say less than you meant. But deep inside you whisper, "Why can't I just think in English?" You've learned for years, you know the rules, you understand everything when others speak. But when it's your turn, your mind builds a wall made of translation. And on the other side of that wall, your real voice is waiting. Today we're going to find that voice. We're going to learn how to stop translating and start thinking in English. Because fluency doesn't begin in your mouth. It begins in your mind. Part 1. The Silent Translator. Inside every English learner, there lives a tiny translator. You don't see it, but you hear it. Every time you try to speak, it sits quietly between your thoughts and your words, turning everything you feel into your native language first. You say, "Good morning," but before that, you think another greeting first. You say thank you, but your mind whispers the old word before English arrives. This translator works fast, but not fast enough. It interrupts your rhythm, makes you doubt yourself, and worst of all, it keeps you outside of English. You're not speaking in English, you're speaking through English. That's why it feels like effort. That's why it feels heavy, because your thoughts are still dressed in another language's skin. No wonder fluency feels far away. You see, thinking in English isn't just a skill, it's a new way of being. When you stop translating, you stop dividing yourself. You stop switching between worlds. And slowly, English becomes not a subject, but a space you live in. The truth is, the translator inside you isn't the enemy. It was born from years of charts and drills, lists and tests, lessons that began in your first language. It was there to help. But now it's time to let it rest. Because every time you pause to translate, you send a message to your brain. I don't trust English yet. And the brain listens. It hesitates with you. It stays cautious. But the moment you start thinking directly in English, even simple words, even broken lines, your brain receives a new message. I belong here. That's when fluency begins. Not when you speak perfectly, but when you start thinking freely. Now that you see the silent translator, let's uncover why it refuses to leave, and how your brain learned to depend on it. Suchak, fade pause. In the next part, why your brain translates even when you don't want it to. Part 2, why your brain translates. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing what it was trained to do. For years, you were taught to understand English, not to live in it. Every lesson began with equivalence. This means that word equals word. Translation became your bridge, and you crossed it 1,000 times. So now, your brain believes it can't reach English without crossing back first. It's a habit, not a flaw. A path your neurons prefer because repetition feels safe. Think about your first language. You didn't start with rules. You started with life. You saw water. And someone said, water. No dictionary, no switch, just meaning. But when you learned English, you sat far from the river of life and stared at grammar maps. You filled blanks. You passed tests. But you never inhabited the language. Your brain became a translator because the classroom taught it to be one. Every word had a twin back home. Every sentence had a mirror. And slowly your mind stopped trusting English alone. It's like walking with 2 feet, but always stepping with the same one first. First language, then English, over and over again. No wonder it feels slow. No wonder you get tired. Translation burns energy. It builds a wall between thought and speech. When you translate, you don't just move words. You move culture, rhythm, emotion, context. Some things don't fit. There are words your language can't hold. There are feelings, English names, that your tongue never had to carry. That's why you pause. That's why your mind goes blank. Because it's searching for an equivalent when there isn't one. It's not your fault. It's your method. Here's the good news. The brain is plastic. It rewires with input and intention. If you give it English first, it will start to think English first. New channels don't form from fear, but from immersion and trust. So don't fight the translator. Retrain it. Let it rest. Show your brain that English isn't foreign anymore. Start by naming your world in English. Call the cup, cup. Call the sky, sky. Call your thoughts by their English names. Every time you do, you tell your brain, this is my home too. And gradually, translation fades. Not because you force it, but because your brain no longer needs it. That's how thinking in English begins. Not by strain, but by repetition without fear. The mirror exercise. 60 seconds to catch your translator. There's a simple way to meet your translator. Stand in front of a mirror. Just you and your thoughts. Pick one simple sentence like, I'm ready for today. Now say it in English and feel what happens in your mind. Do you hear another version first? Do you silently say it in your native tongue before the English arrives? That's your translator. Alive, automatic, invisible. Don't fight it. Just notice it. Watch how it moves between words, how it waits for permission. That moment of awareness is where rewiring begins. Every time you catch your translator in action, you weaken its control, because awareness is correction. You no longer translate unconsciously. You choose. And the more you choose English first, the faster the old reflex fades. So try it tonight. Stand in the mirror. Say 3 honest sentences, and let English arrive before translation does. It's a quiet exercise, but it opens a new door in your brain. Now that you understand the reflex, let's expose the silent habits that keep it alive. Pause. Gentle handoff. Up next, the 4 hidden blocks that stop you from thinking in English. Part 3. The 4 hidden blocks. Knowledge alone won't break a habit. You must see what feeds it. Here are 4 quiet blocks that keep your mind translating. Block 1. The habit of translation. You've practiced translating for years. It feels safe. Even when it slows you, you think, what's the English for that? And that single question pulls you out of the moment. You start searching instead of speaking. Correcting instead of connecting. To heal this, unlearn the reflex. Don't wait for the perfect word. Use the nearest word you own. English rewards movement, not precision. If you can't say complicated, say hard. If you forget responsibility, say something I must do. Keep the rhythm alive. Fluency lives in flow, not in flawless words. Block 2. The fear of mistakes. Not fear of grammar, fear of judgment. You were trained to avoid red marks, so each time you open your mouth, you scan for danger. Someone grating your soul. But language is sound before it is correctness. Children don't fear mistakes. They play. That's how they grow fluent. Let every mistake be a teacher. When you forget a word, smile. When you mix tenses, breathe. You're not failing, you're forming paths. Each error is a brick on the road to ease. Block 3. The grammar trap. You try to speak and check rules at once. Is it go or goes? Should I use present perfect? While your brain debates, your voice disappears. Fluency doesn't come from grammar first. Grammar grows out of fluency. Native speakers break rules daily, yet meaning carries them through. Let meaning lead. Let grammar follow like shadow. Block 4. The quiet surrounding. Silence is a teacher, but silence in English is not. If your day is quiet in English, your brain won't think in it. Surround yourself with sound, songs, podcasts, captions, whispers. Let English be background hum, not homework. You don't need a passport. You need presence. These 4 blocks feed each other. Translation grows from fear. Fear grows from silence. Silence grows from perfectionism. Break one, and the others begin to loosen. The moment you stop policing, you start connecting, and your brain realizes, I don't need to translate anymore. Pause. Slower breath. Now that you see the blocks, let's start the shift. Not by force, but by triggers you can live with. Part 4. The shift begins, the 4 triggers. Understanding is good. Practice rewires. You can't think in English by reading about it. You must live it. In small, repeated moments, here are 4 daily triggers that switch your brain into English mode. Do them every day. Not for long. Consistently. Trigger 1. Morning reset. When you wake up, don't grab your phone. Grab a sentence. Say it out loud. In English, anything true. I feel sleepy. Today will be gentle. I'm here. Don't translate, just say it. The first language you use in the morning becomes the one your brain trusts that day. Start your day in English, and English follows you. After a week, thoughts arrive faster. Your mouth stops asking for permission. Trigger 2. The 5-minute narration. Choose a small ritual. Walking, showering, making tea. Narrate it in English. I'm turning on the tap. The steam fogs the mirror. The street is softer today. No performance, just presence. You're retraining attention to carry English. After a few days, you'll notice English even inside your quiet. Trigger 3. The 30-minute English zone. Create a short daily zone. 30 minutes. No translation, no subtitles. A podcast, a channel, a diary, a voice note. During that time, pretend your first language doesn't exist. If you don't know a word, circle it, skip it, continue. This trains your brain to survive, then to relax, then to play. Trigger 4. Night reflection. Before sleep, replay your day in English. What did I notice? What stretched me? What am I grateful for? Whisper it or write 3 lines. No correction. Only closing the loop in English. After a few nights, English stops feeling like effort. It starts feeling like breath. Do these 4: morning reset, 5-minute narration, 30-minute zone, night reflection, and the shift begins. The translator rests. Your voice rises. Up next, how to weave these triggers into one living day. Part 5. The daily practice. A 24-hour English mind. Thinking in English isn't built in a year. It's built in a day, repeated. So walk one day with me. Not perfect, just honest. Morning. Open the door, you wake, light touches the floor. You greet the day in English. Good morning. I feel calm. I'm here. As you brush your teeth, you name your world. Water, mirror, toothbrush. Not studying, reminding. Each morning you do this, fear wakes later. English wakes first. Midday, living in sentences. You head to work. You narrate softly. I'm crossing the street. The air smells like coffee. He looks tired, but kind. At lunch, a short podcast. You don't chase every word. You stay inside the river. 10 minutes of English sound rewires more than an hour of drills. A coworker asks a question. You answer without rehearsal, not perfect, real. That's what thinking in English feels like. Response without resistance. Evening. The English zone. Home again. Messages arrive in your first language. Before you slip back, guard 1 hour for English. A video, a journal, a walk with headphones. Inside that hour, English is the air, not the task. You stop checking meaning. You start trusting meaning. When the mind stops escaping, it begins to belong. Night. The quiet replay. Lights low. Day complete. You replay in English. Not as a student, as a storyteller. What made me smile? What was heavy? What did I learn? 3 lines in a notebook? 3 breaths with your eyes closed. You sleep. The brain reviews. It remembers. English is safe. This is your rhythm. Morning words, midday narration, evening zone, night reflection. Not how much, how often. One day becomes a week. A week becomes a habit. One night, you dream in English, and only notice after waking. That's when you know. You're no longer learning English, you're living it. A day of reflection, Jake's story. Let me tell you how this rhythm feels when it becomes real. Jake, one of my students, used to memorize word lists every night. He knew thousands of words, but froze every time someone spoke. Then he tried something different. He didn't study more. He just began to live one English day. In the morning, he whispered 3 English sentences before touching his phone. At noon, he described what he saw on his walk. Kids laughing. Sun on glass. Wind smells like rain. In the evening, he listened to 1 English story without subtitles, letting meaning come through sound, not translation. And before sleep, he wrote a short note. Today I spoke faster. Today I felt less fear. At first, nothing changed. But by week 2, he noticed small miracles. His mouth moved sooner. His thoughts arrived softer. English began to flow between his breaths. After a month, Jake sent me a voice note. He said, I didn't plan it. But today I caught myself thinking in English while I was cooking eggs. That was his breakthrough moment. Not from studying harder, but from living softer. That's the real rhythm. Slow, human, repeatable. You don't chase fluency. You grow into it. Up next, the moment it clicks and why it feels like quiet. Part 6. The breakthrough moment. It doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives like a soft bell you almost miss. Maybe on a bus. Maybe washing dishes. Maybe tying your shoes. A thought rises. In English. Not forced. Not planned. Just yours. I'm late. I love this song. I need coffee. You pause. You smile. I just thought in English. That's the breakthrough. It doesn't feel like victory. It feels like peace. English stops being something you chase. It becomes a current you stand in. Every learner who reaches this remembers it. Not for what they said, but for what they no longer needed. Permission, translation, apology. Language becomes rhythm. Rhythm becomes home. A true story. I once taught a learner named Hannah. Quiet, careful, afraid to be wrong. After months of gentle practice, she sent a message. Something odd today. I was late for the bus. And without thinking, I told myself, run! In English. It felt like the language was mine. I saved that line, because that is fluency, when the language turns from tool to belonging. Not accent first, not grammar first, belonging first. When English starts thinking through you, everything softens. Conversations feel lighter. Listening becomes clearer. Words arrive before you search for them. It's not speed, it's ease, not study, presence. To keep it alive, you must feed it daily. Not with pressure, but with rhythm, reflection, repetition. That's where we go next. Part 7. The mind speaks English. Fluency isn't a finish line. It's a way of hearing yourself. Each English thought you notice isn't proof you're perfect. It's proof you've changed. You stopped waiting for permission. You stopped translating feeling into words. Now words carry feeling directly. Language doesn't just let you speak to others. It lets you meet yourself again in a new voice. A new inner voice. When you think in English, you meet another version of you. Curious, lighter, playful with ideas. This voice doesn't erase your first language. It walks beside it. Like two rivers joining one sea. You don't lose who you are. You widen who you can be. Because language isn't only communication. It's consciousness. The way the mind touches the world. Now your mind has learned another way to touch it. The gift of the journey. Remember how it started? A tiny translator, a fear of mistakes, the waiting for perfect words. Then came small triggers, a daily rhythm, and the quiet click of belonging. Step by step, you built an English day, until that day built you. You no longer translate, you connect. You no longer study, you see. When the mind speaks English, it doesn't sound like rules. It sounds like life, ordering coffee and meaning it, writing a thought and feeling proud, understanding a heart without translating it. That's fluency, the echo practice. Train your inner ear. Now there's one more secret that keeps this calm fluency alive. It's called the echo practice. You don't need a teacher for it. Just your voice, your ear, and 1 minute. Play a short English clip, maybe a podcast, a video, a movie line. Listen once. Then repeat softly. Not word by word, but rhythm by rhythm. Follow the melody, not the grammar. If the voice rises, rise with it. If it slows, breathe with it. You're not copying. You're syncing. This gentle echo rewires your ear to hear English as music, not as a puzzle to solve. And when the ear begins to trust the sound, the mouth begins to follow. Even 10 sentences a day can transform your accent, your timing, and your confidence. Because thinking in English isn't just mental, it's musical. Every fluent speaker isn't just talking. They're keeping rhythm with thought. So try it after this video. Pick one line that moved you. Replay it. Echo it softly until it feels like breath. That's not mimicry, that's memory. And that's how English becomes your voice. Closing reflection. Tonight, when you close your eyes, listen between thoughts. English is already there, not as a stranger, as a familiar friend. You don't need to chase it. Keep it alive with small words, daily presence, gentle attention. One morning you'll wake and realize something quiet. Your mind already speaks English. Fluency isn't the sound of perfect English, it's the sound of a calm mind. Part 8. Keeping the Flame, Practical Toolkit. You've felt the shift. Now protect it. Here are gentle practices to keep your mind in English. Simple, repeatable, kind. Daily micro-rituals. 2-minute warm voice. Whisper 3 true sentences about your morning. I slept well. Rain is soft today. I'll move slowly. Object chain. Choose one object nearby. Name 5 details in English. Blue notebook. Paper is rough. Corners are bent. Lines are narrow. Pages smell like dust. One photo story. Open your gallery. Pick one photo. Tell a 5-line story in English. No grammar checking. Only feeling and flow. Weekly deepening. One topic dive. Pick a theme you love. Coffee, music, running, design. Collect 10 words from real content. Use each in a personal sentence. Conversation mirror. Once a week, record a 2-minute voice note about your week in English. Next day, re-record the same ideas. Smoothing rhythm, not perfection. Tiny book club. 1 article, 1 short video, 1 note to yourself. 3 small inputs, 1 small output. That triangle builds confidence faster than long bursts of study. Mindset refreshers. Morai risisi. Replace I forgot with I'm learning. Replace I'm not good with I'm getting used to it. Replace I need perfect words with I need honest words. These phrases don't excuse effort. They direct it. When you freeze. Name the feeling first. I'm stuck. I'm nervous. Then name one small fact around you. The chair is cold. The window is open. This grounds your attention in English and loosens the knot. When you can't find a word, go around the word. Describe it. It's the thing you use to... It's the opposite of... You keep the connection alive. Your partner helps the word arrive. When you're tired, switch from output to input. Put on English sound as atmosphere. Let meaning soak without effort. You are still training, gently, protecting joy. Joy is fuel. If a method steals joy, it will steal consistency next. Choose inputs you love, people you enjoy listening to, topics you'd read anyway. Liking your English life is not a luxury. It's the strategy. Signs you're growing. Before you notice fluency. You replay fewer sentences in your first language. You pause, but you don't panic. You ask more questions because you understand more. You forget you're practicing. Growth is subtle before it's obvious. Trust the small proofs. Gentle self-check, once a month. Ask yourself 3 questions. What feels easier now? What still feels heavy? What would be fun to add next? Adjust the month ahead by curiosity, not by punishment. Quiet promise. Make one promise you can keep on hard days. I will give English 5 honest minutes today. 5 honest minutes build a bridge over any tired week. Your voice, your home. You began with a wall of translation. You end with windows. Light moves through your thoughts now. Words come dressed in the language you chose, not because you forced them, but because you welcomed them. Daily. Gently. Remember, fluency begins in a calm mind, grows in small rituals, lives in the stories you tell yourself. Keep the rhythm. Keep the kindness. Keep speaking, even softly, and your mind will meet you in English, on screen only. If this helped your journey, share it with a friend who needs a calm mind today. Practice together. Grow together. Your voice belongs here.